everyone, my name is Melissa from Inspire Me ASAP. In today's video, I'm so excited to share with you a fun and engaging way that I introduce a new reading workshop unit of study to my students, all about characters. Now, if you've been following me and watching my other videos on YouTube, you'll know that we just wrapped up a nonfiction unit, and in those lessons, in those videos that I have on YouTube, I shared with you how I used a detective theme as a way to engage my students about learning about the different nonfiction text features. And if you missed that video series, I will put the link in the description below so you can catch up and click on those videos to watch those lessons that I taught my students. But for today, I'm kicking off a new video series all about characters, and I'm going to share with you how I set the stage to engage my readers in this new unit of study. So remember how I use those nonfiction props in the nonfiction unit, right? Well, today on the table here, I have a set of different props that I'm going to use to kick off my unit about celebrating characters, all about celebrating those fun characters in our books. For the next part of this video, I'm going to talk as if I am directly teaching this to my second graders. So I'm going to model what it looks like and what it sounds like using the framework of an actual reading mini lesson. So making the connection, explicit instruction, guided practice, linking to the independent reading, linking to the independent work time, and then our closing, our wrap up, or our sharing. So let's go ahead and get started. Readers, we just finished our nonfiction unit of study where we were text detectives and learned all about the different text features that we encounter in nonfiction books. Well, I'm so excited about today because guess what, boys and girls? Today, we are starting a new unit for Reading Workshop. Oh, yes, we are. But before we begin, I have a quick story to tell you. You see, the other day, I was making chocolate chip cookies. I was in the kitchen making chocolate chip cookies for my niece, and I do what I do all the time when I'm baking cookies. I got out all the ingredients that I needed. And for this part, I really literally would bring these ingredients out in front of the students for the actual lesson. I brought all the ingredients that I needed. My mixing bowl, my mixer, I had eggs, flour, baking soda, butter, sugar, even a little bit of cinnamon in this recipe. I had everything that I needed to make my chocolate chip cookies. I carefully was mixing together the ingredients. I formed them into perfect 2-inch balls, put them into the oven for 10 minutes, took them out of the oven, let them cool for another 10 to 12 minutes, and I took a bite of that first cookie. Immediately, I noticed I made a big, terrible mistake. I forgot the most important ingredient. Who knows what ingredient I forgot? I forgot the chocolate chips in making the chocolate chip cookies. Boys and girls, I know, I can't even believe it. You can't have chocolate chips without the chocolate. You can't have chocolate chip cookies without the chocolate chips. Well, I have to tell you, boys and girls, this really made me think about how some of the books that we have in our classroom library, they have something in common. I want you to take a look, boys and girls, at some of these books. I want you to look at just the covers of these books, and I want you to think to yourself, what do all these stories have in common? Are you ready? Just think to yourself as I show you the book covers. Stink and the Attack the Slime Mold. Looks like a good book. Amber Brown is not a crayon. Oh, look at these two girls. Ivy and Bean. This looks like a chapter book. Oh, Keena Ford in the second grade mix-up. She has a little pen in her hand. It looks like a notebook. Don't throw it to Mo. Make way for Diamond Daniel. Because of Winn-Dixie. Boys and girls, are you noticing something that all of the covers of these books that I'm showing you, what do they have in common? You're right. They all have characters on the book covers. You got it. Boys and girls, the most important part, or the most important ingredient of these books are the characters. They make the story what it is. The characters. Just like the chocolate chip cookies are the most important ingredient to the cookies. Well, these characters are the most important part to the stories. Readers, soon it's going to be your turn. And when it is your turn, and when you start reading, I want you to pay attention to what you notice about the characters in the books that you are reading. Write down the character's name. Write down what you notice about them, what they like, what they don't like, anything that you're noticing about these characters that make them special. And then you can write those things down in your reader's notebook. Okay, boys and girls, it is now your time to begin your reading. Now, after my students are independently reading, I would then close the lesson by having us come back together as a whole group, and we would share the different characters that we found in the books. And that could be a turn and talk, or that could be as a whole group. We could also use our anchor chart to refer to the character, or to write down. Students can come up to write the character's name in their book, and then the book title of where they found that character. Now, actually two tips that I want to give you as you are teaching this lesson. This is an awesome opportunity, this lesson specifically, to pull out diverse books with diverse characters. An excellent opportunity to teach about diverse characters and to have the students see themselves in the book that they are reading. The second tip I want to give you is that if you are teaching remotely and you're currently not in person with your students teaching these lessons, you can, instead of holding up book covers live in person, you can go to a website like epic.com and you can just show digital books. And then students that way can visually see the book covers, just displaying them in a digital manner. This lesson is one of 16 lessons that is included in my character unit resource, and you can learn more about that character unit resource by clicking in the link below. In the meantime, when you are waiting for my next video to come up about characters and extending this into a video series about characters' traits and characters' feelings and characters' changes, I'm going to model how I teach those lessons as well. In the meantime, I sure hope that if you were inspired by this video or something in this was inspiring you to share with your own students, if you could click the like button below and make sure you're subscribing to me so you do not miss any future lessons. But for right now, I think I'm going to go remake those chocolate chip cookies.